Steroids ERA, Barry Bonds, the home run king, set the MLB record for most home runs in a career with 762. His infamous 73 home runs in 2001 not only shattered single-season records, but also cemented his legacy as one of the greatest hitters in the game, though his achievements were clouded by allegations of steroid use. Similarly, Mark McGwire's 70 home runs in 1998 helped reignite the popularity of baseball following the 1994 strike, but also raised suspicions about performance-enhancing drugs. These numbers pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible in the sport, but at the same time, began the unraveling of a hidden crisis: the widespread use of steroids in the MLB. The controversy reached a boiling point in 2003 with the Balco scandal, where a network of athletes, including stars like Bonds and McGwire, were implicated in a steroid distribution ring. The public outcry was so intense that Congress held hearings in 2005, questioning the MLB's failure to act. The players' union was initially resistant to accept mandatory testing, which only fueled the fire of suspicion. By 2004, under mounting pressure, MLB implemented stricter drug testing, but the damage to the sport's reputation had already been done. Even with tougher rules in place, the legacy of the steroids era continues to influence discussions about fairness and the integrity of the game. Banned from coaching, Pete Rose, born on April 14, 1941, is the all-time MLB hit leader with 4,256 career hits, a record that still stands today. Despite his extraordinary accomplishments, including 3 World Series championships and 17 All-Star appearances, Rose's legacy is tainted by his 1989 lifetime ban for gambling on baseball. The league's decision to ban him from coaching, managing, and involvement in MLB activities came after an investigation revealed that Rose had bet on games, including those involving his own team, the Cincinnati Reds. MLB's stance was clear: integrity over everything. For the league, the risk of corruption in the game outweighed Rose's immense on-field achievements. Since the ban, Rose has made numerous emotional attempts to be reinstated, including public apologies and appeals for reconsideration. Despite widespread support from fans and former players, his ban remains in effect, as MLB has upheld its position on gambling-related violations. The debate about whether the ban should be lifted continues to divide baseball fans and sports writers alike. Many argue that his contributions to the game should be recognized with a spot in the Hall of Fame, while others maintain that the integrity of the game must remain above all. This controversy over Rose's reinstatement remains one of the most talked about topics in baseball. Gaylord Perry's spitball. Gaylord Perry, with 314 career wins, earned his place in the Hall of Fame, renowned for his mastery of pitching. One of his most famous tools was the spitball, a pitch he used with notorious effectiveness throughout his career. Perry's ability to control the slick, doctored ball baffled hitters, allowing him to produce some of the most deceptive pitches in baseball history. His notorious spitball was widely known, but his skill in using it made him one of the most successful pitchers of his time, and he dominated despite the controversial nature of his methods. In 1973, the league officially banned the use of foreign substances like the spitball, recognizing its unfair advantage in controlling the ball. Perry was fined multiple times for doctoring the baseball, and his actions drew both scorn and admiration from various corners of the sport. His defiance of the rules didn't go unnoticed, but his results, 3,534 strikeouts and a Cy Young Award, remained undeniable. Perry's combination of genius and rule-bending created a legacy that is still talked about today, even as modern pitching continues to evolve. His career highlights the fine line between creativity and controversy, a line that remains blurred in the history of baseball. Pine Tar Incident. In 1983, George Brett, one of the premier hitters of his era, found himself at the center of one of the most controversial moments in baseball history. With the Kansas City Royals trailing by 1 run in the 9th inning against the New York Yankees, Brett blasted a 3-run home run, putting the Royals ahead. However, Yankees manager Billy Martin contested the hit, claiming Brett's bat had too much pine tar on it, violating MLB's rule that pine tar could not extend more than 18 inches from the handle. After a lengthy review by the umpires, the home run was ruled invalid, and the call was overturned. Brett's reaction was nothing short of explosive, charging out of the dugout and confronting the umpires in one of the most memorable on-field moments in baseball. The Royals appealed the decision, and the home run was eventually reinstated, allowing the Royals to win the game. This incident led MLB to tighten its regulations on pine tar use, establishing clearer guidelines to prevent future disputes. While the controversy surrounding Brett's bat eventually subsided, the event became a defining moment in MLB history, illustrating the tension between players' ingenuity and the enforcement of league rules. Corked bats. In 2003, Sammy Sosa was one of the most prolific power hitters in MLB, already hitting 20 home runs by May of that year. However, during a game against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, his bat shattered on a swing, revealing cork inside it, a violation of MLB regulations. Corking a bat makes it lighter and can potentially increase the distance a ball travels by altering the bat's sweet spot. This discovery led to immediate suspicions of Sosa using a corked bat to gain an unfair advantage, casting a shadow over his 2003 season and drawing widespread media attention. As a result of this incident, MLB began enforcing stricter bat checks on players, ensuring that corked bats would no longer slip through unnoticed. Corked bats were now officially banned as they were seen to enhance performance beyond the limits of standard equipment. Despite Sosa's public apology and explanation that the corked bat was meant for batting practice, the incident was an infamous moment in MLB history. The fallout from the scandal led to heightened scrutiny of player equipment, but it was short-lived as technology improved and the focus shifted away from corked bats. Still, this moment remains a powerful reminder of the lengths some players would go to gain an edge. Pitchers' plastic cups. In the early 20th century, pitchers sought any advantage they could get, and one method involved using hidden props to alter the ball's movement. One such method was the use of plastic cups, which allowed pitchers to modify the ball's trajectory, creating unpredictable and difficult-to-hit pitches. These disguised substances were kept hidden from umpires and used to give pitchers an edge in controlling the game, making their pitches tougher to track and even more dangerous for batters. While the use of these props wasn't widespread, it became a point of contention for fairness in the league. In response, MLB enacted a ban on hidden foreign substances in 1910, aiming to preserve the integrity of the game and maintain a level playing field. The use of plastic cups and other similar substances was quickly outlawed, as it gave pitchers an unfair advantage. This ban had a significant impact on pitching strategy, as it forced pitchers to rely solely on their skill and technique rather than external aids. While this issue is rarely discussed today, the early enforcement of such regulations shaped how pitching has evolved and is still a cornerstone in maintaining fair play in modern baseball. Foreign substance ban. In 2014, MLB responded to growing concerns over the use of foreign substances by pitchers, with a more stringent policy aimed at ensuring fair play. The league banned the use of pine tar and rosin for pitchers, two substances previously used to enhance grip and control over the baseball. With the new regulations in place, umpires were empowered to inspect pitchers mid-game for any foreign substances, making it clear that any attempt to alter the ball's movement would no longer be tolerated. This move came as a direct response to reports of pitchers using substances like pine tar to get an unfair advantage, increasing the speed and spin of their pitches. The challenge for MLB, however, was in keeping the ball truly clean, while still allowing pitchers to use acceptable substances like rosin for grip. Despite the pressure and tensions surrounding this crackdown, the league remained firm in its commitment to ensuring that games were played with integrity. Over time, the crackdown led to a noticeable decline in the use of banned substances, but it also increased scrutiny on pitchers and their equipment. As MLB's future continues to focus on a cleaner and fairer game, this regulation remains a key pillar in the ongoing effort to level the playing field. Shoe tampering. In the 1980s, some players began tampering with their shoes to gain a speed advantage on the field. Cork, a light material, was sometimes inserted into the soles of cleats to reduce weight and improve a player's sprinting speed. These tampered shoes provided a subtle but effective advantage, particularly in stealing bases or outpacing opponents on the field. However, the use of cork in footwear quickly raised concerns about fairness and the integrity of the game, as it was seen as a form of cheating that went unnoticed until it became more widespread. By 2014, MLB had officially outlawed the tampering of footwear, making it clear that players could no longer use these shoe tricks to gain an advantage. The league cracked down on the practice as it posed a threat to the fairness of competition. Players found to be using altered shoes faced suspensions and penalties, further cementing MLB's stance against such tactics. Though this incident is rarely discussed today, it sparked a debate over the lengths to which some players would go to gain an edge, and it remains an absurd chapter in baseball history that continues to stir conversation. The dead ball era. By 1919, baseball was struggling with low-scoring games and a general decline in fan interest. The use of the dead ball, a type of baseball that lacked the liveliness needed for long-distance hits, contributed to this issue. As a result, MLB took steps to push for a deader ball, which led to a period where hitting and power were greatly diminished. The combination of poor offense and the waning excitement of fans sparked calls for change, and the league found itself in the midst of a crisis in terms of entertainment value and competitive balance. This was the environment in which Babe Ruth began his rise to superstardom. Ruth, with his powerful swing and ability to hit home runs, quickly became the face of baseball, breaking through the mold of the dead ball era. His success ushered in a new style of play where power hitting began to dominate. As a result, MLB gradually shifted to a livelier ball in the 1920s, revitalizing the game and fueling the power surge that Ruth led. However, the legacy of the dead ball era remains embedded in baseball history, influencing how the league approaches equipment and rules to this day. Foreign substance and the spider tack. In 2021, spider tack, a sticky substance originally designed for strongman competitions, became the center of controversy in Major League Baseball. Pitchers using spider tack were able to generate crazy spin rates, making their fastballs more difficult to hit and leading to greater strikeout totals. The use of sticky stuff, like spider tack, revolutionized pitching, allowing pitchers to control the ball in ways that seemed almost unnatural, giving them a significant competitive edge. However, the rise of such substances created an imbalance in the game, as hitters struggled to adjust to the increased movement on pitches. In response to growing concerns over fairness, MLB instituted a crackdown in 2021, which included umpires inspecting pitchers' gloves and hats for foreign substances. This move was met with resistance from some players who argued that the substances were crucial to their ability to control pitches in the face of increasingly juiced baseballs and batter-friendly environments. MLB acted swiftly to ban spider tack, as the use of such substances was seen as crossing a line in terms of fairness and integrity. With the new regulations, ballparks implemented additional rules to ensure compliance, fundamentally changing how pitchers approach their craft. This shift in policy marked a turning point in baseball, one that had a lasting impact on the game and how pitchers would strategize moving forward. PEDs and the Hall of Fame. The debate over whether players linked to performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, should be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame continues to divide the baseball community. Two of the most prominent figures at the center of this controversy are Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, both of whom had Hall-worthy careers but were implicated in PED use during their careers. Bonds, the all-time home run leader with 762, and Clemens, a seven-time Cy Young winner, saw their achievements overshadowed by the suspicions surrounding their use of banned substances. Despite these allegations, both players posted extraordinary statistics that have led to ongoing debates about their eligibility for Cooperstown. Baseball writers and Hall of Fame voters remain split on how to handle players with PED ties. Some argue that the integrity of the game is paramount, while others believe that the statistics and accomplishments of these players should outweigh the questions about their methods. Meanwhile, certain players banned for PED use have still received significant support in Hall of Fame voting, showing the complexity of the issue. The debate remains unresolved and is likely to persist, reflecting the ongoing challenge in balancing fairness, performance, and legacy in the evaluation of baseball's greatest players. The Lost Game Rule. In 1931, MLB implemented a new rule aimed at preserving the integrity of the game by banning the manipulation of games, including actions like fixing or abandoning a game for unfair advantage. The rule stipulated that if a team was caught engaging in such practices, the game would be forfeited, and the result would be recorded as a lost game for the offending team. This was particularly relevant during high-stakes matchups where the pressure to win was intense and the potential for foul play was high. The rule sought to maintain a level of fairness, ensuring that games were decided on the field and not by outside influences or manipulative tactics. While the rule was a clear deterrent to any form of game manipulation, it also left behind a lasting record of forfeited games that can still be found in the history books. The enforcement of the rule was essential at the time, but with the evolution of the game and advancements in technology, its application has become less clear in modern baseball. Despite this, the lost game rule remains a significant part of MLB history, serving as a reminder of the league's commitment to ensuring that the game is played with integrity. Today, questions remain about how and if such a rule could be enforced in the contemporary era, where technology and analytics play an ever-growing role in the sport.